The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the Sportlight with Yvonne Mangunda. And as usual, we bring you a big sporting personality to talk about their journey, where they've been, where they are, and where they see themselves in the future. And today is no different. And we've got a big star. This is a big star. We grew up watching him play, and now he is coaching. I will not give you more details because I want you to find out throughout the show what his journey was like. I am talking about Ephraim Mazarura. How are you? What is it? What is it? Tutongoona kane branding chichichi kuti zvinhu zviri correct.
Correct for now.
It is a journey so far your coaching.
Yeah, journey coaching is right. Started from grassroots, now I'm to senior coaching now.
So, talking about your upbringing. Makurira kupi, makazvarwa kupi, makaenda kuchikoro kupi, because we want to hear about your journey.
Ndakazvarwa kwaMutoko. Then ndakaita grade 1 and 2 kwaMutoko kuchitekwe primary school. Ndikazoenda kuMabvuku kuHarare. Then I did my grade 3 up to grade 7 ndibata naye primary school. Ndikazoenda kuMabvuku high secondary school. Then ngangoti zvebhora zvakatanga kuprimary ndibata naye primary school. Started playing at grade 6 nditamba bhora bata naye primary school.
But grade 6 iyo mama kutoziya position here kana zvaingwa zvongoti kuchiri kungotry.
Ndangozvara ndiri goalkeeper, I think. From grade 6 and kutongobata pagate. Sometimes I could play as a right back ku his B team, then first team totamba as a goalkeeper. Then I also played for secondary juniors. Ndopakatanga junior football yangu at the age of 11. I played for secondary juniors until I was graduated to senior team. I played there for 2 seasons.
Ndiana niwa mchiri ma prominent names angaripo kuseko United pamakapinda senior team.
It was David Uchkwaripo, although he didn't play much in that the year promote ko akazoenda kuJubesana. I think there was Simon Thompson, and then Simba Mkarati. I played with Robson Masauso. Even coach Big Boy Mawiwi, I played with him with Seko United senior team.
So how long were you at Seko United?
For 2 years. Then I got signed on a Black Rhinos. Because I'm soldier for 4 years. Then
so is it a must, like if you join an army team, that you have to train and then become a soldier, or it's a choice, it's an option?
No, uchingo sign on Rhinos that those days when we go pinta bus. But I don't end up course the army. Why is went later on? So in the 4 years, I was supposed to go for army military training. I didn't go. Then I retired on my 5th year. I joined Motor Action Football Club. Yeah. For Motor Action, then I went to One Africa. One Africa, I played for 1 season. Then I went to Lenthens. I played 2 seasons. Then I joined Dynamos. I played 1 season. Then I went to DRC.
You were a nomad. Why? Like, are you the sort of person who name to ma opportunities are weird? Kanauti and pane pa even ma frustrations.
Some opportunities, some frustrations. Like One Africa, I didn't play much. So because I was direct with Lenthens, then I joined Lenthens. Lenthens, I got a better offer from Dynamos. Dynamos got a better offer from DRC, the FC Lupopo. Then FC Lupopo, I played there, but Marizasa Bode. I think the sponsor I got a Mangunda Ake. Then we went out of the country. We left stranded DRC. Then I came back. I was signed by Chicken.
Let's talk about time you DRC. Kuti you're a foreigner, you're in a foreign land. Just say let's say Dynamos, whatever other team. Mari kanza inakuya. uri padhuze nehama dzako neshamwari dzako, unogona kukwereta, unogona kuita plan B, unogona kuhasla. But what was the period like? You're in a foreign land. How did you survive mari dzisiri kuuya?
It was a difficult period, I say. That's why I decided to come back. But that year, I think we only get my salaries for 6 months. Then the rest, young supporters will come and give you money to Untambabora. That was then. Then I decided to come back home.
Avakumba vanhu vanenge vasingafoni because unenge uchinzi waenda kunze kwenyika ka vanhu vanenge vane maexpectations ekuti ndiyo uri kufanira kuti titumirewo mari kuti tikwanise kudya.
Exactly. Pamba kaipa. It was a bad year for me. Then I decided to come back home.
We hear all these stories about DRC, obviously, especially ukatarisa like kune refugee camp kuno ku Zimbabwe utongogara. I know there are people that come from the DRC vamwe vacho. Could you say, like, is it as volatile, or that period, was it a safe period?
It was very safe. I think Lubumbashi was in Lubumbashi. Lubumbashi just near Zambia. So these issues, the refugees was happening in DRC, Kinshasa, I mean. Lubumbashi, we were very safe.
Okay.
Yeah, we were very safe.
So you come back, chicken in?
Yeah,
I'm going to say.
Chicken in. I think I didn't play for chicken, but they signed me.
Okay.
Because in Yaga clearance from DRC. So I guess we are later on mid-season. You should go Chicago clearance when I want to offer to Swaziland. Then I moved to Mambane Swallows, where I played 3 good seasons. I won everything in Swaziland, Champions League. I played for Mambane Swallows. I think I won every trophy in Mambane Swallows.
I'm trying to figure out. So, in the period before the clearance came, Chicken In was paying your salary, right?
Yes.
But you couldn't play, obviously, because I'm not clearance.
Yes, international.
Then you finally get clearance, you're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Or for them, it was mutually beneficial?
Yes, I think Maria for the period. It was a loan. Yeah, it was a loan agreement. So I went there, played for 1 season. After my loan, I renegotiated for 2 years. Then I played for 3 years.
So Swaziland, you're dominating, you're doing well.
Yeah, Swaziland played well, very well. But when you come back home, it was nothing. That's when I decided to come back home, but I enjoyed my football in Swaziland.
What do you say? What sort of fans are they like? Because I know different countries, different levels of loving the sport or different levels of attendance. Could you say Swaziland?
No, I was playing for a big team. So Mambane Swallows was a big team, that Dynamos. So the supporters were very, very supportive. And they liked me so much.
What's the home ground? Somhlolo, because I went to the Warriors ku Somhlolo, and even just the background of the stadium, it's like so beautiful. Swaziland is beautiful as a country, and I can imagine playing there week in, week out, facilities and stuff. So mazo decide kuti mara is kutenga ku Zimbabwe. Again, it's okay to Zimbabwe. What was the next step?
I got an offer from our mine. Then I joined our mine for 3 seasons, yeah. I played for our mine for 3 seasons. Went to play in Champions League. We lost to Nigerian team in quarterfinals. Then after that, I got an operation. Yeah, then I stopped playing football for a year. After that, I recovered. Then I went to play in Mozambique. Pachimoya, in Text Africa. I played for 1 season. It was in Division 1. Then I got signed again in Mozambique, Mashaquen, Premier League the following year. But unfortunately, I didn't manage to play again in Mozambique because of my international clearance. Then after the contract, I just came back home, started coaching.
I can like you're a nomad. Like the number of clubs you've said.
Yeah, I played for a lot of teams. It was a good experience.
I guess you can say it's fortunate, and as a football player, when you are able to get opportunities. Let's say you've got a scenario and a situation, but you're able to get another club also wanting you. And in between this period, let's talk about national team.
Okay, national team I started playing under 17. National team I played with Kapini, Nyashachazika, with the likes of Natsipa. Then we graduated again into under 20. I played under 20, I played under 23 into the senior team. I think we were the first team to qualify for Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia 2004. I went there as the goalkeeper. It was very interesting.
So in any like like for us, for the fans, we're obviously very excited. I remember it being live on TV. You guys, the plane just leaving, but you did go score Warriors, and for you obviously picking order unengo chiziva. What's it like as a person who unengo chizia uti inina anguka pa picking order ndiri pa number 3.
This was, Kenya Nations Cup, it was something every player wanted to. So to be part of the team, just between 20 players, to me it was just something else. Because there was a rumor we had 3 goalkeepers in NH and Tapua. They were saying these are all young goalkeepers. So journalists started pushing for Mzazi. So we are 4th in training here. But I have to fight to be number 3.
Ish.
Then Mzazi was dropped.
I know here I talk about Zimbabwean football when you talk about goalkeepers. If you're to ask somebody their favorite goalkeepers over the time, these are some of the names that will pop up because Ephraim and you are at training. There is all this stuff being said. How did you keep yourself focused? And even during training, did you have the belief? Or hey, when you finally heard you're the 3rd one going?
You have to believe in yourself. I was believing myself that I can make it. Was all the qualifiers, I was part of the team. So it was just a force behind saying these are 3 junior goalkeepers in the senior team. So I had to fight for my position, then I made it.
And what was experience like? Because first time, Muruenda and my first group. There's no one in the team vanozenda second at least when you land there and you start playing the games, what was the experience like, and what were the things that either surprised you or excited you?
It was a big experience. Imagine playing against Samuel Eto'o, Jeremy Jitap. For us it was a big experience, although he lost the game, but I think he gave it our best. So he's a 3rd choice goalkeeper. Was just watching others playing comfortably.
Who was your, in that setup, who were your closest friends? Who was your roommate?
My closest friend was Tapua Kapini, because we played from under 17. I can say from area zone, he was always competing with me, although I was always the 2nd choice to him. But we were very good friends from those days.
I can relate to that. I was always second choice wicket keeper Takashinga. So I took Takashinga muenda kunonzi ku provincial, it's the same thing. West can about to the national team, that was a dropper to 3rd choice. And I never got to actually play in the national team because of that. Because I'm too very superior. So I understand this thing of being, the inferior one of the duo. But then this is where it's surprising. Because most people would dislike the other person, but you guys were friends.
Yeah, we're very close friends. But I'm good for me as well, and I accepted it is better than me. So we're just close. Until now, we are very close friends.
I think that's what made the friendship take on it. Because when you are able to accept good, indogona, but muna no gona on the food.
Better than me.
Because a lot of times people have this thing, but
I'm better than him.
Because sometimes you talk to my football players, when this thing you do munagasa pick one guy go funga coach vane favor and farirwe chichi and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you look at national team, what were some of your highlights, like moments in your national team career where you're like, yo, this time?
I think it was a qualifying game against Eritrea at home. We're waiting for the results. So imagine after the match, we've got to a Cresa Lodge waiting to hear the results. And eventually we qualified. So the whole country was happy.
I remember that game was in the National Sports Stadium. Like, you know how it is after the final whistle. People didn't know whether to celebrate, not celebrate. And now you're waiting for result. Are you going?
Yeah.
And when you look at low moments.
At national team level?
Yeah.
National team level, I don't have much low moments. I think the loss against the Seychelles away. Because looking at Seychelles, we thought maybe we are going to win convincingly, but we lost, I think, 2-1 away to Seychelles. It was something everyone didn't accept. You can lose to Seychelles.
Hey.
Yeah.
And going back to your journey and the teams you played for, I want to zone in on your time at Dynamos. You played in an era where it's a very different era from now, where you go to the stadium, there are fans, yes, but there are not a lot of fans. What is the experience like playing for a team like Dynamos with all the expectations?
Dynamos was a big team. I played for one season in Dynamos, but everyone knows me because of I played for Dynamos. I played for Rhinos 4 years, but they didn't recognize me. They recognized me as a Dynamos player. It was a big team that time. Imagine competing against Winat Manyatira. He was the first choice. Then I took over from him. There was Zonday in China, in Munyana, and I played with Sese, Kathiri Shokim, Kadri Malajira, Maruvu. It was a big team. So Dynamos can put your career forward or backwards. For me, it put my career forward.
It does, eh? It does. It does. I would have never understood it until I joined Dynamos. Like, I get a lot of people who say to me, Dynamos, but I think it's until you join the institution, you work for it, and you realize what it does to your career and your CV and your standing in society. It's worth more than even money or anything else.
Exactly.
And do you think it's also helped you in your career? Because muna chitota sa CV kana kuti muna chitongofunga Ephraim Mazarura patozoti mfeso yakatombo.
Otherwise I could never played for DRC FC Rupopo. It was Dynamos. I was recognized playing for Dynamos, then they just signed me from Dynamos.
And for a player, at what moment in time did you think it was time? Is it a decision you made because you thought maybe I'm getting older and slower, or it was a decision made for you by circumstances?
I was done with football. I was coming from operation. Then I tried to force back, and disappointment of not playing Premier League in Mozambique because of ITC. I just come back and I got an offer from St. John's College, where I'm coaching until now. So I decided to just stop playing.
What year was this?
16, yeah.
And should I say, like, the experience of being a professional football player, and you talk about playing football from primary school, high school, then you get into a junior setup, then you get into professional football, and then you just wake up one day, I was a city player, because now you were now moving into coaching. That experience for you, that adjusting for you, that period?
It was a good adjustment because now it was grassroots, no pressure. Just coaching the kids at St. John's College. So I think it was a good adjustment for me. From playing, then giving my knowledge to the kids. That's when I decided to open an academy. I started my own academy from that time until now. I'm the director of Royal Oak Academy, and I'm still coaching St. John's College. Besides Ngombe Aura.
So academy, no one gave you?
We are based at First Capital Sports Club, Mount Pleasant. That's where we are based.
How can we get more details, like as in my age groups? Like, I say, what does if I'm watching and I've got a child and I think I want them to join your academy, because obviously unambereka singadoti mwana ita academy nezita.
From under 10 to under 18. Then I have a lot of players produced from the academy. Some are playing in Premier League, Division 1, Division 2.
So this passion of working with young kids, was it a passion that was already there, or it was a passion born because of an opportunity that came to coach at St. John's?
I think it's an opportunity that came. From there, then the passion became. Because that's when I started the academy. From now, my passion is junior for development.
So if somebody wants to start an academy, what are some of the things that they need to know, especially when you're dealing with young kids?
I need to know the age group you're starting with and the scouting area. You've got the nice grounds, equipment. I think it's good to go.
And why, if I'm a parent, why would I choose your academy? Why should I choose your academy if I want my child to join an academy?
I think you can look at my background, how many players I've produced, and I'm offering also some tours out of the country. Like last year, I won a tournament in Tanzania for under 18 with my academy. So you can Google Royal Oak Football Academy and find everything there.
Royal Oak? Pa Facebook?
Yeah.
So for you parents, if you want your child, because I get a lot of inbox messages of parents that are just saying, and if you compare now the junior development now from when you guys were growing up, what is different?
I don't know. This time now, I don't know what these kids are doing. It was on our way back, there was no academies. Then I would come back the next day, we're opening school. So there was no time we could train. But we managed to make it as a professional player. But these days, we are offering these kids proper training. But they're not making it in life. I don't know what's happening up there.
Talent is
there. Talent is there.
Such drive, chi.
I think the coaches now, they are recycling players. They don't want to sign young players. Because of result-oriented clubs. They don't have time to give a coach like 5 years plan for them to develop. I think the only team is doing that is FC Platinum. My place was there, I think it's 10 years now. Even see his team playing, there are a lot of juniors there.
And you can see even the transition from under 19, like just a week ago, I was having an interview with Tandongwenya, and he was talking about the issue. Yaguti, he was youngster in high school, A-level. Ovans, we have my trials and FC Platinum under 19. Then one day they have a game. Ovans, you have senior team. Monaka one. Then immediately, no man, my business like I'm fine. I'm doing senior team, but it's not a lot. We don't have a lot of those youngsters that are being given that breakthrough. I don't know what's going to Pane 5 maslow say no many kids on PSO. Ngozi ngati say bafana, but abambofa bakatamba.
Yeah, that's what you're doing now at Mumbai. If you see our team. About 18, 19 years old players playing. You see Odensi is just 17, but he's making lineup every week.
And talking about Ngombe Aora, before Ngombe Aora, is there any other team that you'd obviously Jenny and Yuguti Mapinda junior development? Let's now connect it to you now going into technical teams of professional teams.
I coached Golden Eagles in Division 2, remember? Then I coached brief Band Rovers in Zimbabwe. Then I coached Scottland last year. Then now I'm into Mombeaora.
And Mombeaora this year, everybody's complimenting the style, the play, the everything. And obviously it's a team to watch for promotion for next year.
Yeah.
What makes Mombeaora different? What makes, to the point where I saw a video clip of Scott Sakupanya saying, Scotland is because these two teams are obviously connected.
No, we believe in passing game. I think everyone wants to watch good football. I think that's different as we pass the ball around.
But I'm not passing game D1 because my stadium anosiyana and when I'm saying maybe stadium menu ngene surface ribo nozobuda ere mainda ku machonyonyo.
Sometimes it will be difficult for us, so we have to adjust. That's why our coaches. But us, we believe in the passing game. So when the ground is bad, we just adjust.
So nyaye coaching, did you think about it before? Okay, fine, you have an injury, then after that you try to come back, Mozambique, made my frustrations, then you get an opportunity, you start coaching. But when you were playing, before maybe the injury and before the circumstances, was it a path you'd already thought could into coaching?
Yes, because I started my coaching when I was still playing. I did my level 1 when I was still playing for Almai. So obviously I'm a football person. The next step was to coaching.
In case you didn't know, we did level 2 together, right?
Yeah.
And did you go level 2? Guys, coaching. I literally think, unless you've experienced it, like you, coach. My certificate say you have to work for it. And what is the dream? What is the dream? Where do you want to see yourself?
I want to see myself, I think, coaching the national team. That's the one I'm focusing now. I need to coach maybe the juniors, goalkeepers coach under 17, under 20. Starting from there, then to senior team.
It would be nice though to have like
my career. I started from juniors up to the top, so I'm still dreaming of coaching the national team.
But transition iyo ichiri kubuda here iya makaita iyo yekuti unobva kujunior team yeseko uenda kusenior team usitanga kuzo is the pathway clear?
No, these days there's too many shortcuts. You see a player playing under 17 this year, next year is no longer there. But our team would see 3 quarters under 20, 3 quarters under 23, 3 quarters senior team.
Shogadziriswa sei manje?
I don't know.
For our game, toshigadzisa sei?
I think that we need to have proper junior structures, and the coaches must believe in the youngsters.
And most times when you talk to vakatamba kutanana vakatamba varikutamba, obviously there's comparison.
Mm-hmm.
When you compare the state of our game, the state of the football, and yesteryear, as a former player, how do you feel, and what do you think we need to do?
I think junior from the grassroots. We start from the grassroots. If organized tournaments, organized league, we capture every young player who is good. Then there's a system now from under 15, under 17, and up to the senior team. But now we have a tournament like next week. We just call the players 3 days before the match, and expect a coach to win a match like that. Yeah, football there's always a shortcut.
But do you think also as people, as fans, for example, we are also putting the pressure, leader, to teams being more result-oriented?
Exactly.
Tikapa example, your Kosafa squad. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good idea to say, we've got these under-23 team that's going to play Olympic qualifiers next year. Got to have a match experience. We've seen other teams, Vana South Africa, Vanane over the years, bringing my under-23, my Chichichi. But you get there, like you said, Vango Sangana, but they actually trained one time before their game. And people are expecting miracles. But to see the fact here, Guti, as the tournament grew and as the confidence grew, you can tell by the third game, Kuti, how valuable game time is. And by the time Noshkama qualifiers, they are better equipped than previous. But if I social media, popota. Tajgiro in South Africa, Tazodro in Mauritius, Mauritius, a small team. Atisi to toy so footy pressure ways, you don't know, next Kosa finding out get in this team, no winner.
If you got a vision, you must stick to our plans. Like you're saying, the Kosafa team, you have to just keep it. Organize tournaments, not waiting for other Kosafa. You can have friendly games, playing other countries. Then I think from there, the supporters will have confidence in that team. But now just wait for the Kosafa tournament next year, there's no development.
So Mangatari, you work with players. Mm-hmm. You're a coach. Mm-hmm. If you look at the present day player and the player from your era, what are the differences?
These days, there's no consistency in these youngsters. I don't know what they're doing. The last centuries, we have got players who can be soccer stars for 3 years. But now, you can be soccer star this year, next year, out of the ladder.
My influence is actually chi, like, from your experience, chi chingange chiri ku lead to that. Vanhu vari half baked here, vanhu vari ku distractwa nezvimwe zvinhu here.
I think the distraction, a lot of things happening behind the scene. Drugs and these people. And the kids are also not passionate that night. That we could train alone after training. But these days, I find I'm going to go training. Out to my town, you don't know.
You know, go to minutes.
Yeah. Go to minutes.
Are there things from your career that you regret, like moves or things that happened in your career that you probably use as examples to other kids? You know, you need to do certain things this way because I did A, B, C, D.
I think I can. The regret I can have is the move to DRC. Although there was money before, but it put down my career. Like you said, out of the country, there's nothing coming. So by that time, I was very hot at Dynamos. Maybe if I played for 2-3 seasons there, I was going to come back to the national team. But the man was put on the table. Then I just went there 3-4 months, there's no more money. So sometimes you have to play where you are playing good. Must be patient with it. If the man is not coming, be patient, the man will come.
I think when you spoke about that, the first name that came to my head was Emmanuel Jalai, because there was a lot of talk off season. And he stuck with Dynamos despite the fact that we know Dynamos. That's the decision probably you'd have made if you knew in hindsight.
Sure.
But in way you didn't like DRC. When you think DRC, you think money, you think minerals, you think it made sense, didn't it, in the moment? That's when
Exactly. Because the man was put on table before I went there. But then what happened after, it was terrible.
So staying that long, was it because of your contract?
In DRC?
Yes.
I only stayed for 1 year. It was 2-year contract.
1 year, because obviously season ningetanga after 2 months.
It was about the contract. Otherwise 4 or 5 months I would be back home.
So if a youngster is watching and they want to have a career in football, what are some of the things you want them to know? What are the lessons from your career and things you've seen along the way that you'd want a youngster to know for them to have a prolonged and successful career?
It's all about training hard, listen to the coaches, be disciplined, and don't drink and smoke, and even the ladies to start the career. I was very, very brave. I married at 25 years. Until now, I've got 1 wife.
Fine.
Yeah.
How many kids you have?
I've got 3 kids.
Some influence, but during your time, I can imagine. Now, passing example, Dynamos, baby.
Yeah, I don't want this, but it's up to you now. Because when I'm playing football, quite a high profile name, all ladies are following you. So it's about the decision, what you want to do in the career. So that's some of the things that will distract you. Women, drugs, and obviously alcohol. So you just have to train hard and to leave the other things behind.
So aside from football, what do you like doing? Just not Buramkat. What are your hobbies? What are your likes?
I think I'm just a football man. Every time it's football. Nothing else.
You're a boy.
I'm a football man. Besides football, I'll be home with my family.
You seem very grounded.
Yeah.
And probably that's the reason why you had a career that you had. Because like you're saying, a lot of people are going astray. A lot of people are listening to different voices or doing doing different things. Tichitarisa Zimbabwe as a nation, as a footballing nation, as a former player, what do you aspirate? What do you hope can happen with our game?
Our game, we need to start from the grassroots so that we have, like I said before, proper junior structures. We have produced our own players up to the national team. Then we have to build more stadiums. I think we don't have enough stadiums in our country. I think each team must have its own stadium. You've seen it in Mozambique, Zambia. They're becoming more advanced than us. But we are just stuck here to full stadium, national stadium, which is banned. So you have to build our own stadium. I think it's off to do. Mavoko, there's now a stadium there. Kwekwe is building another stadium. So as a nation, we have to have more stadiums.
You're a man who created opportunities for yourself, and a lot of times we hear my former players actually complain about we're not being incorporated. What would you say to your fellow footballers who are sitting and waiting for people to hand them opportunities?
They must come out there. Like myself, I started coaching at school, imagine, St. John's College. Then I was there, I formed my academy there with the parents supporting me. So you can start from somewhere, even just a school, neighborhood school. You can coach there, that's just sitting at home. You find a job when you are doing something, not sitting at home.
This is.
It's just in history now.
But hey, it must, for me, I don't know, it must have been hard though, Kuti. were there any people that deterred you obviously we're not saying names, but did you have people that when you started that didn't see the vision and were thinking, I'm talking about kocha vana kuchikoro?
Obviously they discourage you, but St. John is the best school in Zimbabwe, so no one discouraged me about that.
I beg you, you
can survive. You can survive and you get opportunities. Yeah?
Ngombe Yaura, I keenly follow Ngombe Yaura on TikTok. You guys love to sing, you love to. It seems like a very happy bunch. Like even your head coach, running very more in the mix of things. You just seem like a very happy bunch. Am I reading it correctly, or it's just
from the executive to the coaches to the technical team? We are one family. A very good leader like Coach Yabo. He's more than a coach. That's why I see you're one family happy.
I hope you're successful. I hope you are uncontroversially successful.
Yes,
and you win. But do you wonder like how you've been navigating it? Because obviously there's a shift of balance. Kuna teams obviously they're struggling, but kuna teams anagagararipo anotopisa and anengashitoda this is our time. Then Ngombe Yaura veyango yongosvika.
Ngombe Yaura just the name.
Yeah.
But in one what experience. Coach Yabo have seen it all in Division 1. So it's just Ngombe Yaura the name, but the people inside there, they experience in Division 1.
So hoping you get promoted. For me, I'm all for teams that are financially able. Vachipinda PSO. Bosi usingade ndechekuti vanhu vozopinda utanga unzonzi kune vazodai. So the competition, as long as the best winner wins, the best wins, I'm hoping and hoping that you have a great season. So Takatarisa, like during your playing days, when you got into the game, who were the people that you aspired to be like? And during your times, also the people that you looked at and thought, this is what I would want, or this is how I want to model my career, your role models.
It was Brenham Siska. I grew up in Mangunda watching Brenham Siska. So he was the first coach to give me opportunity in Division 1, seconded. And also the first coach to play me in national team, Brenham Siska. So he was my idol.
No. And now I'm getting the connection with Scotland. You being at Scotland, you being in Ngombe Yaura. Is it connected to that Mavuku connection?
Yeah. You know what? I grew up with Honorable Scott Kapanya. He was also a goalkeeper. He was my reserve goalkeeper in Mavuku area. But he was only playing when I went to Kumusha. So he was a keeper. So the connection came from Mavuku.
Also to him, you were to what Tapua Kapini was to you, good national team. Yeah. And does it work better in that case when you work in an environment where it is owned by somebody who you grew up knowing, who understands, appreciates the journey you've been through, and even the circumstances where you come from?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't want to pit teams, but you've worked in Scotland, you're working in Ngombe Yaura. What are the differences? Because when you worked in Scotland, obviously they were also in Division 1, right? And then now you're with Ngombe Yaura with Division 1. What are the differences?
In Scotland, I think it was the honorable decision to join them. But the technical team didn't accept me there. That was the issue. But now at Ngombe Yaura, it's the head coach who picked me. So we are one family.
So Ibaba Mamuri was Scotland Ibabo. But I worked in a football environment. I understand when you get to a point where did you face that?
That was the point. Then I have to quit to see how honorable I can't with these guys. There was a lot of big biting there.
And throughout your career, have you had incidences of that? It was a big biting. There's certain times where they affect you or they are targeted at you. Is that the only time you've ever faced that?
Yeah, that affected me in Scotland. I said it myself, let me continue with my academy in St. John's. Because the relation was so bad. Until Coach Yabo said, come and join me in Ngombe Yaura. I wanted to refuse, but then he's my former coach. Then I just took the opportunity.
And when somebody looks at your career and your experiences, what are the lessons you want them to take from what you've experienced careering?
Youth. I didn't get your question.
Like, if a person is watching, what lessons would you want them to learn from your journey?
Okay. For my journey, I think there's no shortcut in football. You have to go through the menu. Don't jump ship. Go through the menu, you see the success.
And you're a former Dynamos player. No matter how brief it was, but you're a former Dynamos player, and you did credited for some of the success and the moves that you made. How do you feel about the current situation?
I think Dynamos must just leave the team for the good of for the people. Dynamos is a big team. I think the way things are happening now, they will be relegated. You need agent, Dynamos agent. Maybe if you can sell the team someone else, that's the best you can do for Dynamos.
And you played in your career at some point. You played in continental football.
Yeah.
While you were in Swaziland, right?
Swaziland and our mine.
In our mine. How important is it for a player to play in continental football? Because we saw Dynamos pulling out of the CAF Confederation Cup.
For a player, it's a good advantage because there are scouts there. And the experience you play with other teams, like playing for a national team, you're representing your country. So it's a good opportunity for players to do that. Unfortunately, Dynamos, they pulled out boats, they don't have the resources. But for the players, it's a disadvantage for them.
But you think this call Zema boycott and is impacted?
I don't see. Maybe in long run, it will change the things at Dynamos. I don't know.
It's a tough one, eh?
It's a tough one, yeah.
So throughout your career, we've spoken about all these teams that you played for. I want you to single out the one team where you had your best time in your career.
Now it's a clash between Dynamos and Bamane Swallows.
Bamane Swallows. Because Bamane, you were sweeping everything.
Yeah.
Dynamos,
so I can say Bamane Swallows because it was a good 3 years. Bamane Swallows, I played my best football there. Yeah, Bamane Swallows.
Okay. I guess it makes sense because Dynamos, you were there for like one season and it wasn't really a long time. Wasn't a successful one, was it?
Yeah.
So I can understand you choosing that. So throughout the interview, I've asked different questions about different aspects about our football. And now we move on to your coaching. When you got into coaching, who are some of your role models, your idols, the people that you look to, and also the people that help you, like people that you can be able to say things are not working well. I can be able to call this person and say, "Ndipe your advice."
Unfortunately, it was the late Drama Tongore. He was my role model. He was my first coach at international level, under 17. So I saw the hard work that man had. Unfortunately, he's late. And there's no one I can ask for now. But Matongore was the man.
So what does a goalkeeper's coach do, really? Tona mjida ma drills, but if I'm to ask, what really is the role of the goalkeeper's coach compared to the role of the actual head coach? Like, how much power do you have in that aspect as a goalkeeper's coach? Are you the one who picks kuti nasinjana ndiya rutamba, or is the coach?
Goalkeeper's coach, my duties as to coach the goalkeepers. On selection, I advise, but I don't pick. So it's advising the coach if someone is ready. If he says yes, the head coach is got the decision. But I don't pick myself. We pick as a technical team.
What aspects in your view make a great goalkeeper? That make you, when you look at, let's say, the 3 choices in front of you, you're like, this is the person I advise to be our first choice goalkeeper.
Like I said, our team, one passing game. So I want the goalkeeper who is able to play with his feet from the back. Like my number 1 now, Nyambongo. He's a great goalkeeper, starting to play from the back, and initiating play. That's what I look at.
But has the game not shifted in a way? Because I've noticed in modern day football, if you may term it, there's so much involvement of the goalkeeper. And sometimes you even have fans in the chest say, but why doesn't he go? But you do know that nowadays, even formation, data 4-4-2. Our formation, include when a goalkeeper, which is 1-4-4-2. Because they're now an integral part of the play.
Yeah, the football has changed now. The goalkeeper is very vital, especially from the build-ups. You must be able to play this feet. So it's different. Like we used to play, you just kick the ball forward. So when I'm looking at the goalkeeper, I look how he handles the ball, how he plays his feet. That's modern goalkeeping now.
So you've got great goalkeepers in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, great goalkeepers.
And in your career, goalkeepers, you said, I either played against them or I played with the... Okay, you can't play with them because you're goalkeepers. But the goalkeepers that you see in my era were amazing. Who are they?
Obvious, Tapoga Pin. Yeah. And there was also... I used to watch him, Emmanuel Nyahuma, Shumba. He was a good goalkeeper.
But if Tapoga Pini was a player that you liked, so how come you didn't do the antics that he... Because Tapo is like an entertainer.
He had his own way of playing. I had my own way of playing. Yeah. I was Ephraim, he was Tapoga Pini.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But it's also nice and refreshing. I think it's nice and refreshing when you hear, because clearly throughout the interview, you've spoken about the admiration for this guy who was your competitor, but you had so much respect for him and you liked what he did and you formed a friendship. And now let's get into social media and the game. When you guys were playing, like, Bora Chairin's Wapa Radio, taimira newspaper mangwana makuseni kuti tinzoti Ephraim akaseva mangani akaita chichichi. Nowadays things are instant and social media is brutal. If you look at the current era, how do you advise your players on the use of social media and how do you see the impact of social media on the game?
There are two ways social media, either they put your career up or down. So as a player, you should know things to take from social media and things which you mustn't take. The too much hype you get from Facebook, social media, it may kill your career. Understand? People are saying a lot of social media, you can distract your career. So you just have to close your ears and concentrate on the play.
But given a choice, if you had played in this area, would you rather a player consume or try as much as possible to stay away from social media?
I would do both. I think by the time, if there was social media, I would have played in Europe.
Because I know bad
Then I say there are two things you put down, you pull up.
Because nowadays you find sometimes, like, how difficult is it to get access to content yenyu? Like, antozoti panopedza game kana agoesa apashaike munhu ari mucrowd atora picture yegoiro chero officially usina kokuriwana.
Yeah, you see now. Advantage.
And then how do you take criticism? Because in your career, there must have been times where you mentioned the time here, even here, AFCON, you're excited, you want to go, you've been with this team playing in the qualifiers, and all of a sudden, maybe you're not good enough to be the one on the plane. During your career, were there moments you had negative press, and how did you deal with that?
I always believed myself. I believed in myself. So whatever they were saying, I was just closing my ears and concentrating my career.
But you think it would have been harder if you had played in this era? Because then you could just close the newspaper, or the newspaper could just be read by certain people. Now it's like, I just want to go and relax on social media. It's there. I want to go in a WhatsApp group. It's there. It's like in your face. Like imagine if you made, let's use an, I hope you don't mind us using an example. For example, Elvis Chipese, you could up until now, people who still gang up on him over a mistake that happened in 2019. Every time he's mentioned, even like a player of the match, South African Jones, but and then it becomes a whole thread of like-minded people also bullying.
I think for myself, that's not a goalkeeper. If I take criticism, obviously, you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, that will cost the team.
And then goalkeeper.
So that's why I was a goalkeeper, because I took the blame, I took it and then I move on.
What sort of player were you? Were you an aggressive player? What sort of character were you on the pitch? To your own fellow teammates and opposition? Because I'm not aggressive. I'm in real life, I think I'm soft. But I'm ground.
I was very aggressive. I'm going basa. I can be soft now, but I'm ground. Because my office is too small.
And your office is crucial.
Yeah.
Because you know the funny thing about football is a striker can make a mistake and not score. It's you know going to shot off targets.
Exactly.
Midfielder, I don't go lose a possession, no recover. But goalkeeper, you make a blunder.
Inside.
And people will be talking about that. It was. I could never. I dish out criticism, but I don't know if I'm really good at taking a criticism. So it's been great. It's been fun talking to you about your journey. And I always want to give this opportunity to my guests before they go. Okay. If there's anything you feel like I didn't ask about, we didn't talk about, this is your opportunity to say what you want to say.
I think we've discussed everything.
But before we're still going to get back again to details about your academy. You said Royal Oak. People can find you on Facebook, age group 10 to 18. 10 to 18. And training Matiku, First Capital.
Yeah, during the school holidays, Saturday and Sunday. Then during the school term, Saturday and Sunday. Then school holidays we do during the midweek, from Monday.
So I'm not balancing, I say, because obviously academy, because I'm trying to think, you obviously have Ngombe Aura, their responsibilities, and then you've got this academy.
Yeah, I've got coaches at Royal Oak.
Okay, so both genders, girls, boys, Jesse.
For now, we would boys only.
Why?
In the long run, I think we need to choose girls. mid of time.
But you've had the academy for a while now.
Yeah. Time will come.
Oh, the time will come for him to have an academy enabled ladies. And I hope you got an insight into Ephraim Mazarura and, his journey. His very nomadic journey. God knows me. I always talk about my friend, God knows me. He's a nomad. And I'm club. Hoping that you have all the best in your career, and all the best in whatever you want to achieve, and all the best to your team. Ngombe Aura, may the best team win, whether it's you, whether it's a Raleigh City, whether it's a Gama, whether it's whoever, as long as there is a free and fair winner. Obviously, we'll be hoping it's you. So until the next time, I bring you another sporting personality, hoping that you got insight into a man who I grew up watching. I don't know what generation you're in, but I know the older generation would be very excited to see this man talking about his journey. For the youngsters, you missed out. This was an era where we had amazing goalkeepers. I think you heard him talk about even the AFCON, the names Zangari up for contention. You talk about Tapuaka Pini, Enejum Rambadoro, Ephraim Mazarura, and also Gift Muzazi. These are big names when we talk about goalkeeping in Zimbabwe. So until next time, we bring you another sporting personality. Goodbye.